Okay, so the last floor, floor 60. This is not a simple one purely because the enemy only do single target attack. So even though the strategy I'm going to show you today is the burst team, which does require highly invested blue DPS, but even without this, you could always just default to the counter attack stall team because all of the enemy are single target. So provided you're able to counter attack by applying the best friend status plus the taunt from Miwa, you are guaranteed to interrupt every single attack the enemy is going to dish out to you. Now, the only thing with this stall strat is that the enemy actually do 4 attacks every single turn, which basically means it's going to cost you 40 curse energy every single turn in order to actually counter attack with that. So curse energy can be a problem, and that's kind of why you probably need a curse energy recollection on both Kaito and also on Todo. And then also to help a bit more, I would suggest you apply to evade recollection. So this one on Miwa, and then also this one, which you should only activate when Mahito is going to use his skill 2 because that's basic evasion, and then you can also taunt every twice every 4 turns. So basically, with the combination of those, and then also those curse energy, you should be able to dodge every single attack the enemy is going to have. And then obviously, when you're doing your targeting, make sure you always focus on one enemy, one mob enemy, and just finish that enemy as soon as possible. Because if you actually take out both of the side mob, what's going to happen is this: the main boss is actually going to resurrect another minion. So basically, you just take out at least, I think, just take down one of them, so that it doesn't do that resurrection move. At least I think it wouldn't resurrect if there's still only one mob living around. And basically, by doing that, you're able to kind of cut down from counter attacking 4 times every single turn down to just 3 times every single turn. So that probably helps slightly bit. And then also for your backup, you can probably put whatever blue DPS just to in case you're not able to wipe everything out with Mojito Stall, you still have another blue DPS to kind of finish off the battle for you. So that's basically the stall strategy, but I'm not going to do that. It's going to take a while. And to be honest, the burst strategy is pretty easy, assuming you actually have a highly invested blue DPS, that is. Now, for my blue Gojo, he is completely maxed out in terms of grade, by the way. So this is completely maxed out. And also I'll show you his skills. His skills are pretty high, level 10, level 10, level 9 as well. And same thing for my supporters, you can have level 10 on both Yaga and Momo. And that's kind of what's going to be needed in order for you to actually kill off the boss. You may have to reset for crit if your blue Gojo is not quite as strong as mine. I think I needed a crit on either my ultimate attack or the skill 1 afterwards. At least one of them crit, it will be enough for me. But if your guys Gojo is a bit weaker than mine, you probably need to go for that crit on the ultimate attack. Okay, so that's kind of the setup. So how does this strategy work? So like I said earlier, the enemy is going to do 4 single target attack every single turn. And what you're going to do on the very first turn is you are going to use your Panda, and Panda is going to absorb all 4 attack. Because Panda by himself can already tank 2 attack, then he has his built-in resurrection. And then plus on top of that, I also put in the Sukna's Vessel Recollection. So basically, Panda on turn 1 is going to tank all of the attack for you because you'll be applying taunt. And then on the second turn, your Mahito is going to come in. And because Mahito is going to have this drawn or taunt recollection, he's going to tank all of the attack for the next 3 turns as well. So you won't be taking any damage from turn 1 to turn 4. Then on turn 5, what's going to happen is the enemy is going to use his special attack. But that's okay because you'll then be activating this recollection on your Momo, which would dodge another 2 attack. So basically, all the way up to turn 5, you will only be needing to tank 2 single target attack. And as long as those 2 single target attack doesn't land on the same person, it's going to be absolutely fine. You'll be able to go all the way up to turn 6 where you nuke no problem at all. Now, on turn 5, the enemy is also going to do something else, which could be slightly annoying, which is that it's actually going to drain away your curse energy. But that's actually going to be fine because there's a simple trick what you can do is that for your blue Momo, what you see me doing is that from turn 1 all the way on to turn 4, all I'll be doing is using her skill 1 because her buff only takes 2 turns to charge up. So as long as I apply on turn 5 and turn 6, it's going to be fine. So what you can do is actually conserve all of your energy so that even if the enemy actually hit Momo and suck away his her curse energy, you still have enough to buff for 1 extra turn. So that's basically how you can go around that in case the enemy hit your Momo. And then in case the enemy actually hit your Yaga, this is where your this recollection gonna come in. Because basically the enemy hits really hard in this stage. So one hit would definitely bring you to less than 50% HP. And if it's actually less than 50% HP, you automatically recover 20 curse energy, which is then enough for you to buff for another 2 extra turns. So that's basically all you want to do. And this basically can allow you to make sure on turn 5, no matter which of your character actually get their curse energy drained, you'll be able to still go into the buff no problem for the next 2 turns. And basically the idea is that you'll be double stacking pride, by the way. You will be self-buffing on turn 1, turn 2, then single target attack on turn 3, and then self-buffing on turn 4, turn 5, and then turn 6 is where you're going to use your ultimate attack with a double stack of pride. And then on turn 7, that should be able to break the enemy. You have to absolutely break the enemy, because if you don't break the enemy is going to summon the 2 minions again, which is very annoying. And when there are the 2 mob minions, enemy actually have a damage reduction, so you absolutely need to break the enemy, and that's kind of why you pretty much need SSR Momo, because she's able to apply this break damage increase. At least if you want to do it with Blue Gojo, I think you need SSR Momo here. Maybe, oh, well, actually, I don't know. Maybe if you have Blue Ghetto or Blue Toge as a debuffer, that might work as well, because debuff is actually one way, well, one support skill which I'm not utilizing here. So maybe if you do have Blue Ghetto or Blue Toge, that could work. But otherwise, you definitely need SSR Momo rather than, for example, the SR1 one enemy, etc. So basically, with all of that, you should be able to break the enemy. Then on turn 7, you should still have enough curse energy on your both Momo and also Yaga to buff one more time. And you want to do that because your Blue Gojo is going to try to do as much as he can before he leaves the battle. So you want to make sure his last attack is still buffed up. And then on turn 8, if you are still not able to kill off the enemy, you should have the ultimate attack on both Momo and also Yaga ready to go. So you then do a combo attack, and obviously while you're doing all of that, your Mahito should be just spamming his skill 2, which will act as a blue type of color attack as well. And that's basically how you can just wipe off the remaining HP on the enemy boss.
楽しませてくださいね。相手の動きを観察。可愛く叩き。任せとけ。手加減はしてあげるよ。俺が受ける。さて、楽しくなってきた。邪魔するな。その程度ですか。いて。出番？待ちくたびれたよ。可愛く。どうしよっか。やっちゃっていいの？ほらほら、どうしたの？楽しくなってきた。切り下げ。やっぱりこっちじゃないとね。最善の一手を常。舐められるのはごめんだしね。どうしよっかな。やっちゃっていいの？では教育の時間だ。どうしたの？そう焦るなよ。その程度ですか？その程度ですか？やっぱりこっちじゃないとね。はい。可愛く叩き直す。はじめ。やっちゃっていいの？では教育の時間だ。ほらどうしたの？楽しくなってきた。邪魔するな。そろそろ終わりにしましょう。やっぱりこっちじゃないとね。相手の動きを観察しろ。可愛く叩き直す。始めようか。やっちゃっていいの？では教育の時間だ。さて楽しくなってきた。おりゃその程度ですか？相手の動きを観察しろ。可愛く今ならいけるね。それじゃおしまいにしようか。授業を始めよう。みんな頑張って。領域展開。自閉円頓か。術式判定赤。やるじゃん。イエーイ。相手の準備始めようか。やっちゃっていいの？授業を始めよう。ぶっ飛ばしちゃって。これで様子見かな。あ、そういえばごめん。あとよろしく。相手の隙を見逃す。準備できてる。始めようか。行くぞ。総力戦だ。これで払い切る。ブスな少年、可愛く叩き直す。行くぞ。ぶっ潰